How significant a breakthrough is this, and what does it set up as a next step in terms of discussions with the U.S. on trade? And this includes the USMCA.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the big next step here is the USMCA talks, which there's a joint review that's due to be completed by next summer, and we'll get in. That process will start pretty soon. So that's reviewing the entire free trade deal between Canada and the US and Mexico. In terms of how big of a breakthrough is this, that's the biggest question right now, because the U.S. did not give up anything here. Canada gave up its counter tariffs. The U.S. did not give anything. The idea is that this was kind of an olive branch to restart trade talks in full. Carney is going to be under a lot of pressure now to get to some kind of deal with Trump. Otherwise, Canada just keeps giving things up. I mean, this is not the first time Carney has sort of given up some concessions to Trump. Carney's going to be under a lot of domestic political pressure now to show some results in exchange for this, so we'll see where those talks go.
And Brian, can you also just give us a little bit more details here when it comes to those sector-specific tariffs and why these have perhaps, when it comes to steel, aluminum, autos, why there have been perhaps more sticking points with these negotiations compared to the tariffs that we saw implemented much earlier this year around the fentanyl and the border concerns when it comes to Canada?
Yeah, the thing to understand about this existing situation is that a lot of the trade between Canada and the U.S. right now is tariff-free because Trump has given an exemption if it's covered under the USMCA. Steel and aluminum in particular are two really big exceptions. Canada exports a ton of steel and aluminum to the U.S. They're the biggest supplier of both. Aluminum in particular, I mean, there's no other country that comes close to the amount that Canada exports to the U.S. Trump's 50% tariff is hammering the Canadian industries. Like, there's steel mills that are built all along the southern border of Canada with the U.S. who export a ton of their production normally to the U.S. and those exports are basically halted right now because of the 50% tariff that Trump has in place. So Canada's under Mark Carney's under a lot of pressure to try to get some deal done on steel and aluminum in particular. And so I think that's the biggest thing that Carney hopes to get to out of the announcement today, is to somehow get some kind of deal done with Trump on steel and aluminum and get those metals shipping over the border again.